everybody and welcome to Clydebridge Station, and we're continuing on with this series of rebuilding the street scene. Now, when you were last with me, you'll have noticed that in doing the street scene we had got along so far, and I had this problem here with the awkward corner. What we're going to do today is try and crack on a bit more with the street scene at this bit here. The hope is that I'll be able to get all the road markings down and we'll get the rest of the walling put along. I've also been given a suggestion by West Blyth MPD of putting a bollard in there, so I'll have a look and see if I've got a spare plastic bollard that come with the Fort Hampton supermarket that I built last year, and if I have, I'll get that stuck down. So the first thing I'm going to do is get on with this bend round here, getting the road round here and getting the markings in here, because obviously this is going to be a one-way street. So we'll get that sorted out first and then I'll let you see how I've done it. I'll be the first to admit my zebra crossing isn't perfect, but given the narrowness of the road, I'll just have to do. Haven't come across a bollard yet, but I'll keep a lookout for them. So that's all the road markings now laid down on the street scene as you see it. The only things I've got to apply still is a couple of drains, and I'll put one there and maybe one there, and then that really will be all the road markings and the drains done. So the next task is to get the walling done, and that'll go right away along here, and then obviously we've got to try and sort out this bit too. That'll then allow me to have just the road signs and the street lights to put up, and then that will be all the street furniture on the street scene done. It'll just be a simple case then of maybe a few more pedestrians, not too many though. So what I'm going to do now is get the walling put up, and hopefully I'll have enough to actually go the whole way along. Now it is getting on a little bit at the time that I filmed this evening, so it'll be another day that I'll be doing it, but by the magic of YouTube you're only going to have to wait a few more seconds to see how the walling looks. Right, that's all the walling now in place, and I'm in the process of making one more bit of walling, because that's going to be for the station area, as I'm going to be rebuilding that using scale model scenery platforms to make it look a lot better than what it is right now, but that'll be dealt with in a separate video. Now I must confess, I managed to pull that out when I was when I was doing something earlier, but that's an easy repair job which I will get around to doing soon. Now the walling, as I say, is all complete. What I've done here, you'll notice, is that I've managed to get a bend in the wall which was completely necessary. I had to end up sticking it down first of all with rocket card glue, and it still wasn't holding, so I had to use Loctite super glue instead to get it to stick down. The problem I've now got, of course, is the coping stones on the top. I'm not sure how I'm going to get that done, but that's something I'll come to later on. The most important thing is I've got the walling in place, so the next task I've got is to put down the filler material. I won't need to put it down on this bit, because that's actually the old stuff that was stuck on top of the rock face here, which I'm going to just leave, but I will have to put that down elsewhere, as you can see. And the finished article should look something along these lines. The PVA water mix is still drying, and it is very chilly for this time of March, so hence why it's not actually fully dried yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out and start putting on the filler. I'll get it done up to a certain point and I'll show you how it looks. And with model shops still not able to open yet, I've actually had to resort to using there we go, that's from B&Q. Other tester pots brands are available. We'll get that started along there. This filler itself is quick drying. You may be tempted to just simply put your scatter material on top of the wet filler. Don't. Do not do that at all. Let the filler dry first, then paint it, then put the PVA down. Let's get on with that. There we go. So that's the filler down now. I was actually reading the filler and it was interesting on the tube. It's something I didn't know. You have to use it within 6 weeks of opening it. Now, the observant among you will notice that I've still not got the coping stones on yet. I'm going to leave that right to the bitter end. And I'll be able to do this here. I've still got road signs to apply, so what I was thinking we'll maybe do is we'll just make sure I've got this right. I'll go round about there and I'll also put another one in there, get them glued in now. Once they're glued in, that'll be the first of the road signs in. I'll have to get more signs ordered. However, we're nearly there, although I say nearly, we've still got a bit to go. That's all going to get painted brown, so the next time you see me, it'll be a few days before I'll paint it brown, but luckily for you on YouTube, you're only going to have to wait a few seconds. This gives you an indication of how you do this vegetation or the scatter or grass material. I'll be putting PVA down here with a brush, neat. Then I'll sprinkle the scatter grass on top of it, and I've got two different shades. Let that dry, and then you put your PVA water mixture on it like you do for laying down ballast. And as they say in Blue Peter, here's one I made earlier. It's a bit bland this, because I think it could do with a couple of bushes or maybe a tree, I'm not sure. But I've actually got a wee newspaper down there, so I think maybe a couple of things in there. Maybe I don't know about maybe a tree, probably a couple of bushes. Along here's where I'm going to be concentrating on next, getting all that done. And it is actually now nearing completion, this whole section. One thing that I will point out to you as well, by the way, is that when you glue it down with the PVA, best leave it 24 hours before, at least before you go and put your PVA water mixture on top and squirt it on, okay? So I'm going to crack on with the next bit and show you where we get up to from there. Not quite finished yet, but because as you can see, I've still got to get the scatter material on this bit here, but I won't be able to put it on all of it because like how close the wall is. I've put some bushes into it, very hard coarse turf into it as well, just like say there for instance, to make it a bit more realistic rather than what I've done with that bit there. But I'll add to that with a couple of other thrown in objects later on, like a road cone and a bike. There's actually a good video that David Watson's done showing you how to put rubbish into overgrown material as well. That's on the Dean Park Station YouTube channel. So what I'll do is I'm going to just get that all finished off, and then we'll get it all glued down from the top. That'll be a 24-hour later job before I do that. And in the meantime, I'll also have to set to the last task, getting the coping on there and getting the coping on there as well. Once I get that done, that will definitely be that as regards the street scene, the main job. It'll just be remedial work such as putting in street lamps and some more road signs. So I'll carry on and get all that done, and then we shall have the finished product just afterwards, I hope. So after what seems like an eternity, I've managed to get the rebuild of the street scene completed. Now, except there's no street lights up yet, but they weren't on the original street scene either. I hadn't got around to installing them at the time. Still got some glue residue here, but I could easily cover that over with some bushes, so I'm not too worried about that. The only problem I've actually ended up with is here. I can't get the coping stones to turn round the edge like that, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. And we'll just have to live with what we've got there. that, folks, is the end of the rebuild of the street scene. So we're back to regular monthly updates when I'll be doing some small remedial work around the layout. I hope you've enjoyed the progress I've made throughout the street scene, and also of the station and the concourse. And I'll see you soon for the May 2021 update from Clydebridge stations. I think you've had enough videos from me for April. So we'll leave it till May, and I shall see you then. So in the meantime, please take care of yourselves, enjoy your layouts, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye for now.